In this video, I want to show you how to apply effects plugins to Traction using the really flexible mixer section in Traction. So that's the section over here. If you go on Traction and grab here, you can stretch this out, and you can also even reorder the elements that are native to it. Like this is the meter, and this is the volume and pan object, and you can even reorder. For that matter, you could even duplicate these. Say you, for some reason, you want to have volume and panning before and after the meter. Just click on it, hit D to duplicate it. Now we've got a second one, and we can move that around. And you might want more meters. You can duplicate those and move them around. And if for some reason you're on a track that has its own volume control, like an instrument track, you can click in here and actually delete all of this stuff. And you can see I took out all of those plugins. So the whole mixer is basically made up of plugins that you can completely configure, reconfigure. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that and then delete these extras. Just grab it, reorder them to where we've got the order the way we want. In previous versions of Traction, we always called the plugins filters. There's also rack filters and other kinds of filters. And in reality, they're plugins or effects. In order to apply them, you grab this blank filter or plugin object and just drop it wherever you want. And then the list of everything available comes up here. So if we wanted to insert, say, an equalizer here, then now we've inserted the equalizer. When you click on a plugin, its properties come up down here in the properties section. So these are the properties for the Traction equalizer. If you put in a third-party plugin, so I'll put in a Tone Boosters compressor here, you can see that the properties come up here on its own graphical user interface pop-up. And this is typically how Traction works. Third-party things pop up in a normal plugin window where the native effects will come up down here in the properties section. I showed you this in the past, but any of these can be bypassed by hitting F. You can also bypass them by clicking or deselecting enabled in the properties section. All right, so I'll take these two out. Now in Traction 5, we have a really great browser, and it allows us to search for plugins. So if I click over here to open the browser and then go to the Plugins tab, now I've got my whole plugins list, and anything I type in here will filter this list. So if I wanted to add a delay to my lead part, I can just type in a few letters of the word delay, and any effect named delay I can put in. So let's use the H delay on the lead guitar part. So I just drag it over, put it here, and it should sound. So I'm just going to insert a basic slap preset right off of the plugin itself. I can adjust its wet dry control right here, and then I'll position the cursor here and play that back a little bit. Now I normally use the plugin browser to find the effects that I want to apply to my track. Now, in addition to this, you could put plugins down in the master section. Right here it says drop master plugins right here. So if I want to put in a limiter there, I'm just going to use TB to go to my Tone Boosters. Like Tone Boosters Barricade is kind of a cool limiter. Then I can just drop that right in on the master, and then everything that's being mixed together will go through this chain. I can put in several plugins here, and basically they go on my 2-bus. And just like in the other sections, I can bypass this plugin by selecting it, hitting F, or back over in the properties section, I can deselect the enable in order to bypass. I can always take an effect out by selecting it and hitting delete, like that, or you can put it back in with undo, which is Command Z or Control Z. Now, if you wanted to have several plugins on the same track, you could really just stack them up and create whatever chain you want. So if I want to add also a reverb to this, I put the reverb. You can see this red indicator will allow me to choose where to put it. I'll put it after this delay. There is no separate mixer view, which is kind of refreshing when you're working in Traction. You just continue to work and build up the mixer section over here. You can hide it at any point with the M command on this mapping. So you can bring it up, bring it down. You never really have to change your thought process between a track view and a mixer view. So that's an overview of how you apply effects in Traction 5. Thanks for watching.